Hello, and welcome to my video where I talk about things that I find fascinating and hope you do too. Recently, what's gripped my mind has been machine learning. It's been a bit of a progress. I've just started, I guess, in the past couple of months, started learning Python, and really it's just specifically for machine learning. I'm not really going to be doing anything else with it, but who knows? Maybe I will. It's just machine learning is vital if I'm going to survive these next indefinite years for the rest of human civilization. If any of us are going to survive, it's it's going to be through adaptability, and that's one of the things that we have over artificial intelligence is our incredible adaptability to various environments and different tasks, and we are able to create replicas of that, biological function that has been curated over God knows how long, in from an evolutionary perspective, and that's really exciting. It's really exciting. I want to be a part of that. I think everyone really should attempt to at least kind of know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't have to learn the calculus behind machine learning. That's not really necessary. But I think not having too much fear mixed in with a little bit of excitement. I think that's the way we should really look at it, because there's there's nothing else we can do. What I want is I kind of want to use this technology. It's not necessarily new. Machine learning has been around for a very long time, since I guess the Turing machine, and we've made significant progress from that point. It's exciting. It's truly exciting. And one thing that is evident about humanity is that over long periods of time, we don't regress. We only progress. We want more. We continue to pursue greater things than what we have. That's kind of one of the fundamental characteristics of human nature. And I think that's a good thing, very much a good thing. Now, some people might think that might be the downfall of us, where we get in a little bit over our heads and we destroy ourselves in the process. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I know that's rather optimistic, especially considering the atrocities that are going on in the world. But I think that that mindset isn't necessarily a delusion. I think it's a manifestation. And that sounds a little woo woo, right? Okay, what are you talking about? Manifesting. Come on. You know that's not even real. Well, from a neuroscientific perspective, the actual manifesting in its current spiritual form would not be considered very uh, real. But focusing your mind on a goal and working towards it and actually getting in the mud, sitting in it, not just sitting in it, but walking through it, running through the muddy waters of the world to find a place, a sanctuary, grass field that is soft and you're able to rest in. And I think that we have the scales currently going back and forth, weighing the dangers of the continuation of human technological advancement. I want to be a part of that. I think that'd be really cool. Oh, my background just changed. Now it's a beach. How fun. Now we got a little bit of a warm feel to it. But I know this is an interesting little discussion here because, well, people are mostly scared of AI, and they'll use their little chatbot sometimes, or maybe an AI integration tool, but it's it's not something that they've accepted. I mean, 94% of companies do not use AI at all. It's at 6% of those large tech companies that are really just pushing and pushing and pushing it. Which I think is fascinating because I think they know something we don't. I mean, if you look at what's being developed in quantum computing, right? Majorana 1, literally topological matter that is able to pretty much simulate half an electron, that is able to then gather even more information than was possible with a single electron. Topological state. How incredible is that? That's wonderful. Good job, Microsoft. It's wonderful. And then I know their plan is to scale it up to 1 million bits, and probably somewhere in that process, they're going to integrate that with AI. And I think that's going to be very interesting. Is Bitcoin going to crash at that point? We won't have to worry about that for another 10 years. Trust me, okay? We're hearing a lot about how Majorana 1's going to have 1 million qubits. That is a lie. It doesn't have that. It has 8 qubits currently. Now, with this new form of matter that they've created, will they be able to advance much further into further developing more qubits? Yes, but that's going to take a very long time. So, what does that mean for us? Well, it means we have time to adapt to this ever-changing world. That's currently what I'm doing. God, it's so fun. It's so fun. Do you realize we have the ability to access so much information? So much information. Like, I was on GitHub the other day and I found this brand new DNA sequencing model that is trained on trillions of DNA sequences, and it is doing wonderful for research. It's incredible. It's unlike anything I've ever seen before. And it's stuff like that even these companies that aren't really big are making big, huge, astronomical advances to fit their goals and needs. And I want to be able to do that as well. Wouldn't you? I mean, it's not like we have a system that's crumbling or anything. Oh, wait, we might. I'm not going to say that the entire American system is going to collapse, but it's going to change. And it's going to change. It's going to change drastically in, I would say, the next 20 years. I think that we're in a very awkward stage to where we don't really know who to trust. And so we trust nobody. But we long for trust. So we look at different ideas and different things that, kind of grip us and resonate with us. And then we use that to then structure how we view everyone else who has structured it for their own personal gain as well, as in politics. So you have multiple people living in this very simulated delusion of people of this culture who thinks that they're similar to each other, when really it's sad that they will push away the people who have different political opinions on them. I mean, in some people's eyes, you know, conservatives are quite literally committing treason, and some and literally the other half of the country thinks that liberals are destroying the country. So isn't that interesting? This two-party system that is kind of in this tug of war, but it's not really a tug of war. It's more so like both parties are just like kind of sawing our bodies off until we realize that we're dead. It's like, no, you want to get sawed by me. No, you want to get sawed by me. And then all of a sudden, you're cut in half, and you're split. You're dead. Now, I've said it before, systems that don't change over time crumble, and that has been very evident throughout all of history. And those who cannot adapt to change will fail. And through their failure, others will rise up and seize the opportunity to thrive. I mean, what Tao Tzu said, wait, no, I don't know if that's his name, but he said, where there's chaos, there's opportunity. And that is something that gripped me that I think that I'm going to live by. Really think I'm going to live by that. It's been wonderful. Back in, back in high school and earlier in my life, I was so obsessed with gaming, TV, scrolling through Instagram, as well as going to the gym. So at least I got buff during that time. But I'm not buff anymore. I lost a lot of weight. But it's for the best. I do MMA now. So I don't compete at 185 because those guys are naturally like 115, 120. So obviously I'm going to compete more so around like 140 as opposed to that. I'm maybe 145. Maybe 145. That's even pushing it for me. I like to stay at 140. But currently I'm not competing, so I'm chilling at a good 160. So, or I guess 163 last time I weighed myself. But so you drop down like 23 pounds. So, but anyways, back to what I was saying. I was only obsessed with what could immediately gratify me until it stopped working and I became miserable. And some stuff happened in my life and I became even more miserable. I had the lowest point in my life. And then this very interesting thing happened where my mind cleared, felt nothing. I did hear this one word, truth. What is truth? Find out what is true. And do you think that that path has led me towards being a hardcore conservative or liberal? No. You got to be careful with how you define yourself. I will admit, with different ideologies, you're going to find resonance with some more than others. But I think we have to realize that there are multiple ways that multiple systems can be implemented and then adapted throughout a very fluid dynamic of change that might integrate multiple societal systems. And I think that's the way that if I could run a country, that would be how it is. So I think it would be a good thing. A good thing. But the path forward is a scary one. It's a real scary one, but I'm really excited. I finally found my purpose. Is it to pursue truth? It was for a little bit. For about a year, that's all I did was meditate and read books. Nothing else. I did nothing else. Like a whole year, just do nothing. I worked, but besides that, all I did was meditate and read. It was incredible. Now I've broken free from all of the chains that shackled me. Not really being on your phone, working on things that you love. And even if you don't love your job, learning to love it is something that is 100% possible. And currently, I'm just full time working at Domino's Pizza while I try to pay for a new car and apartment. So that's great. I love it. Now, am I going to work there forever? Absolutely not. But I'm learning to love it. And well, I was excited in the first place because I love just being able to deliver pizzas and listen to lectures and YouTube videos on whatever is interesting me. Because, working for 8 hours, you're pretty much driving for, I would say, the majority of it. And so, what are you going to do? Well, learn. Learning is interesting. I wouldn't say it's fun. That's it's not the right word Saying learning is fun is just simply not the right mindset. You can get there, but you don't start there. You start with fascination. You start with curiosity. You start with focus. You start with peace. It then leads to the pursuit of understanding. Something grips you, grips your mind. And sometimes I've done this too, where that thought, those thoughts come to your head and you have the ability to pursue them and create something great out of them. But then you trade it for a feeling of instant gratification. How atrocious is that? I don't care if you're religious or not, but I think that in and of itself would be defined as an objective sin. Because what's sin, right? Well, it's an archery term for missing the mark. Did you miss the mark there? If you did, then you've sinned. Is it a bad thing? Well, ask a theological scholar about that. But what I know is that you have to set your aim straight. Otherwise, you will fail miserably, which is fine. It's not a bad thing to fail. It's a bad thing to fail continuously and then end up not trying at all at the end. Because, well, at least you put in the effort of trying a couple times. So I might as well reward myself with some gratifying behaviors and subjecting myself to my whims. And whims aren't bad, I will say. They're very similar to intuition. But they have to be cultivated, be curated. You have to know yourself, know thyself, and well. How do you do that? Well, self-referential processing. Maybe try being a little more self-conscious, but not in social situations. And I got to be careful when I say be more self-conscious, because that obviously is implying something that it's not meant to. What I mean by that is observe yourself. Observe yourself in every situation. And you'll come to the natural best conclusion for yourself over time. Because we love mistakes. Our body, or I guess more so our mind, loves them. Because they're able to learn and learn well from mistakes. If you don't allow yourself to make mistakes, then you'll never actually be able to do excellent. We've all heard that before. That's very common. And I think trying to find a way to make that personable for yourself would probably be the best thing you could ever do for your life. We hear all these things like being kind to another person, love people, and kind of just basic principles that we as a society live by. And if we don't, well, then oftentimes, if you're not smart about it, you'll get cast out of society. So we have to follow these very, not specific rules, but we have to follow these guidelines and manipulate them to best fit our circumstances. And I want people to understand that those guidelines have a rich history of thousands of years of human cultivation and meaning and depth behind them. So I would say next time you think about just a general principle of life that's supposed to be useful for altruism and a positive lifestyle, I would attempt to personalize it. And I think that is a step towards achieving greatness. If you're able to achieve greatness, then excellence is just around the corner. So you don't have to do things by the book. You can write your own book. Just make sure it's structured well. You'll be good. So this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.